All right, what's going on, everyone? I'm just going to get right into it. If you're someone, this is for anybody. My videos are for anybody who watches them. But if you are someone who gets offended by, me talking about God and religion and how life is and real things in life and reality, and you get offended and, you don't listen to what anyone has to say and you just click off of a video real quick, you can do that, but I really want people to listen to what I say, because I was on both sides of this before. I was a full-blown Jesus Christ follower and believer. I witnessed to people. I read the Bible for myself. And here's what I tell people. There's so many people that are religious and they believe in God, and they think that God's answering their prayers, and they think that God does miracles and God is this righteous God and all this. It even says in the Bible, if people would just read the Bible for themselves. I don't believe a lot of things in the Bible, but yet I don't believe none of it. It's just some of these phrases, that Jesus Christ said, if Jesus Christ was real. I live by some of this stuff, but there's so much in the Bible that is it's just nonsense. And I know so many people, so many religious people, if they get on this, they will click off of the video right away. They'll say, oh, you backslid. Oh, you fell back into your sin. And I know how all of this goes. I know how the whole thing goes, And I want to get this across, too. I am not this guy neither that believes in evolution and that we came from apes and that, the world just came together and all this. I don't believe in that neither. But I don't believe all this stuff in the Bible neither about a God that sends people to hell for an eternity for, a crime that they did, a finite crime. I don't know the exact word I'm trying to use, but a finite crime and eternal punishment in hell, burning. And I did a video on this before, and I don't remember what it's called. Is hell real? I think it's what it's called. But this is how ignorant people are. This is how ignorant people are, is that, have you ever touched a hot stove, or have you ever burnt your finger? Like, do you know how painful that is? And then people have been burnt at the stake, for heaven's sakes. And we say, oh, that person's going to hell for an eternity because of something they did. And understand this, we are all capable of crazy things. But, I mean, yes, there should be some punishment for people that did things to somebody. But this concept of hell is just, it's bonkers. It's just totally crazy. And like I said, I'm going to offend people in this video, but hear me out. Listen to what I'm saying here, Religion is just insanity to me. If you want to meditate on your own time and you want to, sit there and do what you do in your spare time by yourself, then you can do that. You can do that. But this whole concept of God and just what people believe right away. Everybody believes in something. Why do we all have to believe in something? Why? Why can't you just live your life? And the two greatest commandments in the Bible are love your neighbor as you love yourself. That's the two greatest commandments. So why are we Why are we doing all this religious stuff? And why are we praying every day the same prayer over and over and over again? If there's a God, don't you think God knows all that? And why do you have to do it? You know, see, if this is something that gives you comfort, you know, the word comfort that comes to mind is this guy, Ray Comfort. And, you know, this guy, he goes out and he witnesses the people and he says, do you know God? And, you know, have you sinned before? Have you lied before? And God made us so that nobody is good. And why are we trying to be good then? If none of us are good, you know, I'm not saying be evil. I am not saying go out and hurt people. I don't want to get hurt, so I ain't going to hurt somebody else. You know, you do not need the Bible and these religious things to be moral and to be, you know, someone that doesn't do bad shit. You do not need religion in the Bible for that. You know, and I'm not getting into the whole Jesus dying on the cross and all that stuff. You know, I even went through a period where I believed that and I cried and you know, it's really weird. You know, see, a lot of people can't understand this. You know, I was once that person and I used to cry at certain things, but now I know that that is my emotions and that is, it's me going through all the things that I used to read and stuff. I applied that to my life, and then when I heard it, I thought that there was a connection there, but really that was just my ego. That was my religious pride and my religious ego doing these things, because I thought that I was chosen and I was this special one and God had my back in everything. Well, you know, where is God when people are dying from cancer and when bad stuff happens and when all this bad shit's going on, you know? Nobody ever talks about the bad side of God. It's always the great side. It's always the God loves you. It's always the God, you know, has your best interest. God will make you, you know, he will bless you in so many ways. And, you know, it's always that side because people want to feel good and they want to feel better and they want to live like something has their back and that there is an afterlife because they're scared. You know, people are fearful. And, you know, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of religion. I'm tired of people using God as an excuse for everything. I'm tired of it. You know, everything that we do, there's always this excuse, you know, oh, well, I hope you get better. I'll pray for you. Well, you know, what is that doing? What is that doing? That's not doing nothing for me. You know, if you really have the best interest for someone that you love, you say that you love and care for, then go and be with that person. Do something with that person. Call that person. Take that person out to eat. You know, do something with an action for that person. Not, oh, my condolences. You know, I'm so sorry. I'll be praying for you. You know, I get so sick of hearing these just spiritual, religious, I'll call it euphemisms, because it's kind of like people don't want to say what people really want to say. They will tell you something that they think that you want to hear. And, you know, I just see right through this stuff and it bothers me. And, you know, it really does. It bothers me. And I don't know why I let it do that, because there's no point to. It's just extra baggage. That's all religion and God is extra baggage. Why would God have made us and then said, I want you to be worshiping me and praying to me and getting on your knees and begging me for things and telling me to do this and that for you? I would never do that with something that I would create. I am a creator myself. I love creating. I love making music. I love writing. I draw here and there, not as much as other people do. Once in a blue moon, I do. You know, I do these things, the arts. But when I do this, I want the best for my art. And I love it and cherish it, you know? I have a passion for this. So why would I make something knowing that I'm going to throw it away or do something like that? I don't want to make anything to throw it away, as in throwing it in hell for an eternity and all this crap. You know, it's just, the more I go in my life, it's just the more that I see this as something that man wrote, man invented, and it's a cycle that I'm going through. You know, this happened. I really started asking questions about, I don't know, a year and a half ago, maybe something like that. I really started asking myself, you know, is this stuff really going on? Or, you know, it's like, I just cannot sit here and accept so much of this stuff that we just believe because another man told us or a book told us. And I don't know. I'm just tired of it. I really am. I came out here in my car to talk about this because where I live, you know, I don't want to be yelling and stuff in my room. It's an apartment, you know, you can hear right through the walls, but because I know there's a lot of people that are like this. They believe in God. They think God is going to do something for them and all this and that. Your life is so short. And what are things that, here's what I'm trying to tell people. What are things that you have been praying for years and years and decades and still have not come to pass? And you're still waiting on God to answer these prayers or to do something about it. God is not going to do nothing. Nothing. He's not going to do nothing. God didn't save. I was praying for my brother for years. And then don't say I'm bitter. You know, people say, oh, you're just bitter towards God and all this and that. No, it's way deeper than that. And I'm not getting into that whole thing. You know, it's like these are real life stories within stories that I can explain why I got to the point that I am at right now. You know, I prayed for my brother for years and he ended up dying, ODing, and he was calling out for God. He was saying, God, please help me. I can't get out of my addiction. He never got out of his addiction. He's dead today. My Aunt Vicky, when she got cancer, we were praying for her. She didn't get better, but you people have these family members that are sick and you're crying out to God and you're begging God. And God, just because somebody got better or the chemotherapy or the medication they took or the doctors did something to make them better, that does not mean that God did it. It doesn't mean that God did that thing. I mean, it's like, where has common sense gone, basically, is what I'm saying. Where's common sense gone in this world? So many people are just, they are so in their heads and they're so deluded that they can't see, because this is a process thing. You can't just all of a sudden, boom, be a non-believer or think that a bunch of this is bullcrap. It took me years to get to the point to where I'm saying the things that I'm saying now. And I have other videos where I am speaking on the Bible and I'm speaking on Jesus Christ, and some of the things that Jesus Christ did and said, if he did it and said it, I even live by some of those things and I think are great. But then there's some things that are just, they're contradictions, they're ridiculous, and that God in the Old Testament, if people would just read the Bible, but so many people, they're not going to do this. They're just going to listen to what another man says because another man said it. They're not going to get in the Bible for themselves. They're not going to do their own research. They're not going to study for themselves. They're not going to do none of that. They're just going to keep listening to what a professor says, or what a preacher says, or what somebody else in their family is telling them, or what their grandmother or grandfather has told them. How many of you have actually got into the Bible, into the book itself? First off, that's what you got to do first off if you believe all of this stuff. I can't take you by the hand and make you do all this stuff. You got to do that for yourself. And so many people, they will get offended and they'll get mad right away because they don't know no better. That's the only thing they can do, is try to defend themselves and get angry and get mad and say, oh, well, that's not true. Let me take you to this passage. And oh, no, I don't believe that. It's always this word, believe, and having faith about everything. These words are just shallow. They're hollow anymore to me. It's just like, the reality that we are in is just, there is no way that if there was this just God or loving God, that he could just sit there and watch children starve to death, watch people die from cancer and all this stuff. But you'll say, oh, God works in mysterious ways, Oh, he had a reason for that. He had a purpose for that family and this and that. Well, let me tell you, that never did any good for my family or me at all. It made it worse. It made it worse that my brother's gone and he didn't get his life together. It made it worse when my aunt died. But then some things, it made people see and realize some things. But that's the contradiction in life, That's life. We all die. And I just really think that we are so scared of death that this is why we need this God character, and we need to believe in Jesus, and we need religion because we're so scared to die. We can't admit that we're going to die. And let me tell you, this is a process. This, like I said, this does not just happen. I remember in 2006, 2007, I started getting into like the gospel rap and the gospel music, and I really got into that, and I really thought that I found the answer. And I was getting on my knees, I was praying, I was singing songs and writing lyrics about Jesus and all that. And it's like, I was ignorant, though. I didn't know nothing. I didn't even read the Bible for myself. I just listened to what other Christians were saying and other religious people were saying. And I wasn't reading for myself. I wasn't finding out stuff on my own. I did know some things, though. I wasn't retarded. It ain't like I didn't know nothing, but it's really hard to explain to people that have this religious ego and this pride. It's very hard to explain to people that this world is messed up. This world is messed up. That's all there is to it. I don't sit here and put on the front for anybody. I don't put on the Christian mask. I don't put on the facade for people. I don't do that. I say it for how it really is. There's crazy things that happen to people, and then there's things that don't happen to people. Some people are, supposedly blessed, and then some people ain't blessed. Some people are starving to death, and some people have food. It's like, but where are the boundaries for this? We all claim that when something happens good, that it's God. And then when something bad happens, it's the devil. And you blame Satan and demons and all this stuff. Well, do you ever think that maybe you're the one that is wrong? And you're the one that is thinking something that you are to blame for it? We're always pointing our fingers at everybody else but ourselves. And this is what I did. I pointed the finger at me. I looked at me in the mirror and I said, what am I doing? Why am I believing this? Why am I thinking that? Why do I think this is and that is? And I kept asking these questions. And even though it drives me a little nuts sometimes, I have found out things for myself. And you are not going to like some of the things that you find out when you get truthfully honest with yourself. And this is what people don't want to do. They don't want to get truthfully honest with themselves. This is why I shun away from groups of people and religious people and Christians and other people, because we're not just admitting who we are and what we are and why we are. It's this whole facade thing that everybody wears every day. And I took it off. I don't want it no more. It's gone. I took it off. I don't need that extra baggage in my life. And here's what I say. If there is some God that doesn't accept me and throws me in hell for an eternity, what kind of God is that? That's just absolutely lunacy and insanity. I can't think of any other word for it. But you people are terrified of this biblical character, God, that men have been stuffing in your face since you were young. You have been getting it pounded in your brain. Pounded in your brain ever since you were born. And you thought that what your mom told you, or what your dad told you, or what your grandparents told you was actually real. And you just believed them because it was your family member. But just because it's your family member, that does not make it reality. That does not make it right. That doesn't make it, the thing that is really real or happening. And I always, towards the end of my videos, I always try to say something which I shouldn't do, because I'm a person that I don't try. I don't try to try, but I want to get through to people. Not try, I just want to get through to people. Because how many of you are just believing anything? And you're just going by what other people are saying, and you're not finding out nothing for yourself in your own life. How many of you are doing that? I took a look at myself for years. A long time. I took a deep look at myself, and I did not like everything I seen. But then some things have got me to where I am free now. I am free to be me and who I am, and express myself the way that I want and need to express myself. I'm not going to be anything for you or anyone else, and you shouldn't be doing the same thing. You shouldn't be trying to be something for someone, or try to prove things to people, or go by what everyone else is saying or believing just because they're saying it and believing it. That doesn't make it true. Just because a crowd of people are doing it. I wish there was kind of another outlet for me to do more, because there's not enough people that hear this message. There's just not enough people getting this and actually hearing people speak like this. You know, you're getting bullshitted every day. You're getting fooled and you're getting told things that ain't even necessarily true. Some things might be true, but a lot of this just religious stuff and this whole spiritual stuff, it's just nonsense. It's just complete nonsense. So think for yourself and be you. Life is too short to be trying to prove or be good enough for God. God even said in the Bible, he said that you're not good people. I'm not saying go and be bad or nothing, but he said you're not good people, but yet you're trying to be good and you're trying to be so righteous instead of just living. You know what I mean? If it says, for it is by grace you've been saved through faith and not by works, so that no man may boast. How many of you are actually living by that? Where you're not trying. You're just, you get the grace of the day and then you go through the day. You know, if like I said, I'm going to end this video here. I don't like doing really long videos anymore because I know a lot of people probably don't even get to the end of them. But if God, I kind of lost train of thought here. If God says we are bad, then why are you trying to be good? But here's the thing. If God wants you to be something that you're really not, then that's kind of like he's forcing you. I lost train of thought here. Okay, whatever. Skip that part. But, yeah. It's just confusing. It's just confusing. Look how confused I'm getting. Because it's just confusion. It's a ball of confusion. That's all it is. It makes me confused just thinking about it. Just sitting here thinking about it. So, anyway, I'm going to end it on that note. I had something that I did want to say, and I forgot what I was going to say, because like I said, sometimes my mind goes somewhere else with this too. So, it was something about we're not good and all that, but we're trying to be righteous, and, you know, why would we need to prove anything to God, basically, is what I'm saying. You know, why would we have to do that? You know, instead of just being us and doing what we do. So, anyway, think about this stuff later.